1 second is one drip of the coffee pot. Let's hurry up.
Shh! Silence! Now I see. It's all becoming clear.
What's clear?
Zvari! The truth has once again been elegantly revealed to me. What we have here is a judge and a prosecutor. A coffee maniac at that. Am I correct?
Well, yes, that's right.
Huh.
Not bad at all. You're the first person that's ever been able to penetrate my secret veil.
Well, sir prosecutor, let me introduce myself. My name is Luke Atmey, ace detective and rising star illuminating the heavens.
Boy, these two make a perfect pair. They'd either be best friends or they'd tear each other's heads off.
I've heard that on the night of the crime, you were all alone on security detail.
You have heard correctly. My specially made monocle is worth more than 100 Detective Gumshoes. If Detective Gumshoe was worth anything, that is.
What was this guy all by himself anyway? There must be some reason. I'm sure of it.
Well then, tell us what this special monocle of yours witnessed.
Zvari. It was approximately 1 o'clock in the morning, just after the date change. That's when my nemesis, the infamous Mask Demask, dancingly descended upon me. Just as I began to turn, the coward struck a fierce blow upon my noble head. Darkness swallowed me before I could land a single strike. When I awoke, he was gone. 30 minutes later, I used an emergency phone to notify the police.
So you didn't get a clear look at the criminal?
My specially made monocle never misses a thing. However, that is limited to things that fall within my own visual range. But of course, that's only natural.
I failed to see why the witness seemed so proud of his performance that evening.
Well, sir old-timer, let me explain. We are not speaking of any ordinary thief, but of the king of thieves, the great Mask Demask, my arch-enemy. That is what my instincts and my years of experience tell me.
Very well. Proceed with the cross-examination, Mr. Wright.
Okay.
It was approximately 1 o'clock in the morning, just after the date changed.
So that would be 1 o'clock on the morning of the 12th, correct?
That's an impressive deduction, sir lawyer.
You were on security duty that night. Where exactly were you at the time?
A penetrating question. I was in the basement warehouse near the computer.
Near the computer, huh?
So then you weren't trying to remain hidden, I take it?
Up to this point, I have tried to remain concealed while waiting for the thief.
Yeah, he said the same thing yesterday, too. Gumshoe also said that they've never spotted a thief at the crime scenes before.
Precisely! That is precisely why I chose not to hide last night. I knew that by not concealing myself, I would be putting pressure on the thief.
Looks like the thief was the one applying pressure on your pigeony head, that is.
In any case, that's when my nemesis, the infamous Mask Demask, dancingly descended upon me.
Dancingly descended? From where exactly?
Well, from the entrance, I suppose. Where else?
So in actuality, he neither danced or descended. Someone please save me. So how is it that you didn't notice the thief?
My eyes were looking for the thief's shadow while my ears listened for his footfalls. But even so, the dastardly criminal managed to sneak up on me. It can only be due to his subtly camouflaged cape and soft-soled shoes.
I hereby W ace duns.
Wow. Just as I begin to turn, the coward struck a fierce blow upon my noble head.
You didn't see the criminal's face when this happened.
Well, that's the difficult part. How should I put it? I saw his mask. That's all I can recall.
That's not very solid as far as testimony goes.
However, fortunately, I had my third monocle, the security camera at the ready. It captured his image perfectly. This should be sufficient, I believe.
Well, as long as his photo is authentic, I don't see a problem here. Well, Mr. Guido, do you have a problem with the photo? Good, then let's continue with the testimony.
Darkness swallowed me before I could land a single strike. When I awoke, he was gone.
Attacked and knocked unconscious, and you weren't able to do a thing? That's certainly some very impressive detective work.
Well, Sir Lawyer, have you ever been suddenly struck on the head?
Huh? Well, actually, yes, by a fire extinguisher.
And what happened?
I was knocked out. And he lost memory, too.
You see, you have no right to look down on me then, do you? The only reason I didn't lose my memory is because I have more brains to begin with.
He may have brains, but the wiring to the self-reflection part seems to be severed.
In any case, that was how I was knocked senseless. And then 30 minutes later, I used an emergency phone to notify the police.
About this 30 minutes.
My silver cord was loosened and my soul fled to the golden halls of Elysium.
As usual, I have no idea what this guy is saying.
I think he's saying that he was out cold.
So, what happened during those 30 minutes?
No one can say, Your Honor. That span of time has surely vanished into the ether.
What is he going on about? There's something suspicious about Detective Atmey. How could he not have noticed when the thief came in? Also, he says he was knocked unconscious before he could fight back. But that can't be right. It contradicts the evidence.
Huh? Which piece?
The real question is, why would he tell such an obvious lie? Huh. Yeah, I think I know what's going on here. He's saying that he couldn't land a single strike. Then how do you explain this? Mr. Atmey, could you please take a look at this with a special monocle of yours?
Aha! This belongs to the criminal mastermind, my arch nemesis, Mask the Mask. It is, in point of fact, Mask the Mask brooch. It was found on the floor of the basement warehouse.
I wonder how that happened.
Huh. Elementary, my dear lawyer. Obviously, it wasn't glued on well enough.
Not quite. It clearly shows signs of having been ripped off a piece of clothing.
Ripped off?
Aha! We can only deduce that the thief struggled with someone that night. That's the only thing I can think of. And there's only one person that was in a position to have a struggle with a thief. The only person that was on the security... You, Mr. Atmey!
Ark!
Detective Atmey, you must have fought with the thief that night. So, why did you lie in testimony to the court?
Witness? Giving false testimony is a serious crime.
No! Wait just a moment, Sir Oldtimer.
Don't talk to me like I'm living in a nursing home.
I just remembered, Your Honor. I was just confused because I've been dealing with so many cases lately.
The true measure of a man is the amount of work he does. That's what I always say. Nick, you can only handle one case at a time. Isn't that right? You talk too much.
Witness, so are you now saying that you and the thief fought?
Hold on. That's quite enough, Your Honor.
Excuse me?
Save the big questions for the testimony. That's one of my rules.
Indeed, I understand. I look at me, agree completely.
Fuck.
Indeed, it is true that I looked away from the door for a brief moment. However, look at me cannot be so easily discombobulated. Unfortunately, the thief grabbed a weapon from the side and rendered me senseless. A true gentleman fights only with his fists, but they were not enough. His first blow struck true, bam, and that's all she wrote.
So in the end, you did catch a glimpse of Mask the Mask?
Correct. It was during his third crime that he struck me from behind. It seems that my memory has become a tad jumbled, so to speak.
Well, that's certainly understandable. I myself always get confused about which testimony goes with which case.
That can be good. That's not a good sign, Sir Old-Timer.
Indeed, it's true that I looked away from the door for a brief moment.
So why did you look away from the door anyway?
In addition to the camera, I had prepared a variety of other sensors as well. The alarm on one of those had gone off, so I had to check the data. That's why I went to the computer. Elegantly, of course.
So you're momentarily vulnerable when you work on the computer? What should I do? Should I ask some more questions? Yeah, sure. So did that computer belong to Lord Taylor as well?
Correct. Well, except for the program that manages the data. That was specially designed by me. Look at me.
In that case, he could have easily manipulated the data.
What's wrong, Sir Lawyer?
Okay. Hold on. Let's talk about the other thing, too. Let's talk about the sensor itself. What kind of sensors are you talking about?
There are other places in the basement that someone could enter and exit from. There are air conditioner ducts, sewer pipes, and a cat door as well. I hooked up heat detecting, infrared, and ultraviolet sensors to each one of them.
That's a lot of hardware. Was it all yours?
Lord Taylor Department Store was kind enough to provide the monitoring hardware. Naturally, the security camera that took the photo belongs to them as well.
In other words, he couldn't have rigged the equipment, huh?
Has that cleared up any doubts you had about me, Sir Lawyer?
Not really.
However, Look at Me cannot be so easily discombobulated.
What does that mean? Discombobulated?
Young people these days, they really irritate me. They allow perfectly good old words to die until everyone forgets what they mean.
Sorry, but what exactly does it mean anyway?
Now I've forgotten. What was I saying?
Jeez, it's better than old people who forget what they were saying 5 seconds ago. Well, looks like we've cleared that up. You can go on with your testimony.
Unfortunately, the thief grabbed a weapon from the side and rendered me senseless.
What do you mean by weapon from the side?
Naturally, that thief had no idea that I, Look at Me, was hiding in the area. He grabbed the sword from the statue that was standing by the door to the warehouse.
Sword? You mean the shujitsu that twisted it around like a tree branch?
Correct. Fortunately for me, the blade was not sharp.
Okay, so he is talking about the shujitsu.
So the thief armed himself with a sword. And what about yourself, witness?
A true gentleman fights only with his fists, but they were not enough.
You had that much faith in your own fighting abilities?
But of course, in college I was the second in charge of the boxing club.
I'm sorry if I failed to find that appropriately impressive.
However, my opponent in the ring this time was my arch nemesis, Master Mask.
This guy's a real piece of work.
His first blow struck true, bam, and that's all she wrote.
Can you tell us a little more about what happened?
My opponent was both powerful and vicious. You might say he was powericious.
Powericious?
I assumed that the Atmey fighting stance. I assumed the Atmey fighting stance, but a sudden flash of light blinded me. That, of course, was checkmate. My opponent had bested me.
What do I do now? Should I ask more about this? Yeah, what was he blinded by? So what was this flash of lightning that blinded you?
I was bathed in a golden light. That seemed to come from the statue of the woman.
Statue of Amy Faye, I'm guessing.
Well, that wasn't very much help at all.
Well, what do you think, Nick? Well, there's one thing that I'm absolutely sure of now.
Yeah? What is it?
This Look at Me guy, he's definitely hiding something. But why? I think I'm starting to figure out what really happened that night. And about the true nature of this detective. Alright. What is this Atmey fighting style?
I'm sorry, but that's a trade secret. I really can't say anymore. But I suppose I can tell you if I absolutely must. The main thing is to put your back to the wall. That way no one can get behind you.
That's it? That's the Atmey fighting style?
Well, Mr. Wright, what about that testimony?
It was very important. Of course it's important. We've learned a detective's secret technique after all.
Yes, indeed. I remember to use it if I ever take a walk alone late at night.
Why the heck is he eyeballing me like that? It's creeping me out.
Now then, witness, we'll go ahead and add that secret information to your official testimony.
Here we go. I put my back to the wall to the fight, but the thief's blow landed upon my third eye. Where is this third eye you're talking about? Oh, it's right between my right and left eyebrows. It's quite invisible to the unenlightened. You may call it the forehead if you like.
Why didn't you just say that in the first place?
So, lawyer, it looks like the creases in your own forehead are getting deeper. So Mr. Atmey got hit in the forehead then. That's what he says. I've got a funny feeling about that. Actually, so do I. Well, what do you think, Nick? Well, there's only one thing that I'm absolutely sure of now. Yeah? What is it? Just look at me, he's hiding something. Well, why? I think I've... okay. Here we go, and... Fuck. Jesus. Here we go, okay. This is a clear contradiction right here. Detective Atmey, your testimony is crumbling like a house of cards. What fun is this, Mr. Lawyer? Sir Lawyer, it is truly a pleasure to cross swords with you. And now, once again, you have thrown down the gauntlet at my armored feet. I believe this is what you said yesterday. No, the coward must have wormed his way in through somewhere besides the door. That my arch nemesis struck me on the head from behind with this gruesome item here.
From behind, huh?
But just now he testified that he struck you on the forehead. I hardly think you could forget where you were hit on the head. It seems I've made another mistake. Detective Atmey, that's not the only strange part of your testimony.
What do you mean by that?
For example, the very fact that he hit the calling card from the police itself is strange. It's almost as if you were afraid they were gonna help with security. Geniuses such as myself have always been misunderstood. How sad. That's wrong! To err is human, to forgive divine. Humans aren't machines, they have souls, feelings. They live, they die, they love, they hate. And yes, they even make mistakes. Hey, hold on! It's not as pretty as that.
Really? What is it like then?
Always chase a riddle down to the end. That's one of my rules. This is it. This might just be my chance to turn things around.
Mr. Wright, what exactly is it that you're asserting?
Very well, Your Honor. The defense asserts that... It's gotta be. The answer is simple. It's all clear to me now. Detective look at me, its true identity is actually Mask the Mask. Yarg!
Order in the court! Mr. Wright, what is the meaning of this?
There are too many unnatural parts to Mr. Atmey's story. He says he was hiding at the crime scenes, which is why no one ever saw him there. And then, in his last case, he manages to outperform Detective Gumshoe and the entire police force to miraculously retrieve the stolen treasure. That's because I analyzed the crime scene data and made an exquisitely elegant deduction. I picked up clues that the police overlooked in order to arrive at a... Oh, please. The explanation is far simpler than that, Detective Atmey. The truth is that you are, in fact, Mask the Mask. Gurk!
But Mr. Wright, this photo, it clearly shows Mask the Mask. The security camera belongs to an ordinary tailor department store. He shouldn't have been able to manipulate it.
He didn't need to manipulate it. He gained access to the warehouse under the pretense of providing security. Then he simply dressed up as a thief and stole the urn.
So, the ace detective is actually an ace thief? Is this true, witness?
Aha! The Mask's ammo is pure genius, and so am I. Look at me, ace detective. You're very clever to have come to such a conclusion. I am impressed, Sir Lawyer.
What? Witness, you're admitting it?
Nick, now's your chance. Yes, time to put the last nail in this guy's coffin. Detective Atmey, when he assumed the thief's identity... Godot Blend number 102. My personal favorite.
Mr. Godot?
The ace detective is actually an ace thief. I smell a best-selling novel. There's only one problem. It simply isn't true.
But Mr. Godot, Mr. Wright has made some very strong points, and I
will admit my opponent has woven a compelling narrative out of whole cloth. But it is, in fact, nothing more than a patchwork quilt. Mr. Trite, if this detective really is a thief, then show us the proof of your claim. But it had better be as hot and as perfect as the coffee dripping down your face.
Well, Mr. Wright, don't just stand there. This court would like to see this decisive proof you have. Quickly.
Huh? Oh, yes, of course. What's the big rush? Are you alright, Nick? Atmey looks pretty rattled right now. I'd like to finish this right now if I can. But can I really do it? There's other evidence that proves Mr. Look At Me is in fact masked. A mask is yet to be found. Proof?
Of course I have got nothing.
Ha! Just what I thought. A man has to hold his head up high no matter how bad things get, after all.
I see. I thought perhaps you had some evidence to back up your assertion.
This is no good. I've got to stay on the attack. I'll never get another chance to prove that this guy is the thief. Don't give up, Nick. Think harder and try again. It's no good. I'm just not ready yet. But are you going to just give up and let us lose this? So you've come to your senses, have you, Sir Lawyer? I can't think of a counterattack at all.
Seems to me the cloud of suspicion surrounding this witness has lifted. Mr. Godot, if you have anything further to add, then... What? Who are you?
That doesn't really matter right now, does it?
Mr. Light, what are you doing here?
Nicky boy, the thing you've been looking for. I think I found it.
You mean that bag?
No, not the bag. What's in the bag? Well...
That's...
The sacred urn! Nick, it's the urn!
Order! You, madam! That urn, where did you find it?
You'll never believe it. It was in the office of Mr. Fancy Pants, a detective. Look at me.
Oh, Desi, you're the best! Well, how do you explain that one, Mr. Atmey? Even you are gonna have a hard time weaseling out of this one. Ha! Pathetic.
Mr. Godot, do you have something you wish to say?
Yes, Your Honor. It simply amazes me how quickly times change. In the old days, a man was to be taken at his word. It's truly sad.
You're still denying that Mr. Atmey was involved?
Before casting aspirations of Detective Atmey, consider the young lady here. Your name is Desiree. Desiree Delight, is that correct?
Yes, what about it?
Ha! How charming. The lengths that a woman is willing to go to save her husband is truly inspiring.
What are you insinuating?
As the wife of the criminal, you could have discovered that stolen urn anywhere, including the office of the good detective here. So you found the urn. What is that proof? So it doesn't prove where the urn was before you found it.
What? I just brought it here from detective's office.
Please, madam. This town is already filled to the brim of lies, and more could only compound the tragedy we have been witness to.
You're wrong. I would never do such a thing.
Mr. Light?
Please, Nicky boy, you've got to help me talk some sense to these people.
There must be some way. I've got to prove that the urn was actually in the Atmey Detective Agency. Fingerprints, right? Yeah, fingerprints. I can prove where the urn was by the fingerprints on it.
Fingerprints, eh?
Oh, come now.
Now you're really making me laugh, Sir Lawyer. Fingerprints indeed. May I go on? Good. Now, it would be perfectly understandable if my fingerprints were on the urn. After all, it was I who was guarding the urn in the first place. In any case, I am always in the habit of wearing gloves, as you can see. So, unfortunately, my fingerprints would be evidence of anything.
What about it, Mr. Wright? This witness's fingerprints would be nothing anyway.
Nick, what are you gonna do now? I've come too far to turn back now. Atmey must have brought the urn back to his office yesterday. And there, I'm sure someone must have left their fingerprints on it. Oh, the defense proposes that the fingerprints of this person should be on the urn. That's why my profile is available here. I put my hand in the bag, Your Honor. So what is all this fuss about fingerprints anyway? Mr. Atmey, do you recall the events of yesterday? Hey, Nick, come on, open it up. Hey, wait a minute. We can't just open his private property. Don't be such a fuddy-duddy. This is an important investigation. Well, what's in there? Hang on a second, I'm taking it out now. Whatever it is, it feels kind of hard and smooth.
Well, hello there.
It's true that I didn't get a chance to look in the bag at the time, but I did touch what was inside.
What? You touched it?
And I remember it very well. It was smooth and hard.
Well, that was just...
Your Honor, I'd like the court to examine the fingerprints on the urn. If my fingerprints are on there, then it proves that the urn was Detective Atmey's office. Well, even if your fingerprints are on the urn, it still doesn't prove when they were put there, does it? Of course it does.
What did you just say?
It's not what I say, but what Adrian Andrews, the person in charge of the exhibition, said. I polished it until it was just about glowing. I thought maybe I could make it look more valuable. If she polished it that much, she must have removed any and all fingerprints on it. And the only chance I had to get my fingerprints on it after that was yesterday at the Atmey Detective Agency. Huh. This blend, good old blend number 107, I decided it's a little too bitter after all.
Order! I accept the defense's request. Bailiff, take this urn and...
Wait a moment, Your Honor. There's no need for that.
No need, you say?
Precisely. I already know Mr. Wright's fingerprints are on the urn.
What are you saying?
Yes, I've finally broken him down.
Take a good look, everyone. Unable to find a rival worthy of my genius, I was forced to create one by myself. Here I am, the tragic clown.
This guy's nuttier than a fruitcake.
You see, it was me all along. I am the one and only Mask Damask. Haha, I hope you all enjoyed my little performance.
Well, Mr. Godot, what's Mr. Atmey's condition?
He's still in the lobby, laughing insanely, Your Honor. I wish I could enjoy the joke as much as he seems to be.
Well, looks like the matter has been settled. I came perilously close to besmirching the record of an innocent young man, besmirching him with the title of thief.
Nick, you were right after all. Yeah, I guess Mr. Delight Real goes in the thief.
The court finds the defendant, Mr. Ron Delight.
You're wrong. Wrong, I tell you. I mean, not exactly wrong so much, but actually not right is what I'm trying to say. Oh no, he's not. This can't be happening. The thief, the sneaky, odious thief has been stealing all the treasures. It's me. I'm him. I'm the one you want. I'm the thief, I tell you. So do it. Pronounce me guilty, please.
I don't know what kind of kangaroo court you all think this is, but...
The true identity of the thief has already been proven. Please hurry and pass What are you talking about? I already confessed. I'm the thief, I tell you.
Mr. Godot, don't just sit there drinking coffee.
Ha! Hey there, Mr. Thief. Yes, sir?
If you're really a man, then clean up your own mess.
I'm sorry, but I'm afraid I just don't have any idea what you mean.
If you are masked to mask, then prove it. That's what it means.
Yes, sir. I'll be happy to. He says he'll be happy to, Nick. It's kinda cute. He's 100% committed to his fantasy.
Good boy. Just remember one thing. A boy only gets one chance in his life to become a man.
I know that. I won't fail, I swear.
Okay, then, talk. We're all listening. Oh well. Let's all have a listen to this confession.